Stukov is the newest support that we're gonna get. He is both a heal over time character and a burst healing character. The thing about him that... Okay, so he's currently bugged, but even if he wasn't bugged, I think that he's really good, because if you compare his numbers, alright, we're gonna go look at Stukov's numbers. You infest an ally with the healing pathogen with your Q. It heals the target for 240 seconds over 4.5 seconds, and it can spread to ally heroes every 0.75 seconds. And then you compare to our other heal over time man, which is Malfurion, right? So look at Malfurion's healing numbers. Malfurion's Q heals one ally for 150 instantly, and an additional 420 over 15 seconds. So I just feel like Malfurion's heal over time, because when you think about Malfurion, you don't think about burst healing, you think about heal over time. You look at his heal over time, 420 over 15 seconds. You look at Stukov, one more time, let's go look at this. 240 over 4.5 seconds. You just feel kind of bad, right? And on top of that, this can heal your entire team. So in terms of heal over time, he's already really, really good. So I feel like that's just gonna put Malfurion on the shelf. And on top of that, Malfurion no longer has cleanse. Stukov also doesn't have cleanse. Malfurion's snare seems pretty safe and reliable compared to Stukov's crowd control. He also has his own CC in his ult, but like Malfurion, if you combo him with CC, his lurking arm is also really good. So anyway, so his Q is, again, you heal one person for 240 health every 4.5 seconds, and it can spread to everyone else on your team one time, so they can all get healed for 240 over 4.5 seconds. Cooldown is 10 seconds, mana is 30 cost. So that sounds pretty good. Weighted push drill, 50 mana cost, 10-second cooldown. You can hurl a slow-moving thingy thing. It's not really long range, it's very thin, kind of hard to hit. So you hurl it, it impacts everyone in this line. It deals 20 damage in this line, and it slows them by 5%, and the slow reaches up to 50% over 3 seconds. And it also deals extra damage when it expires, or when you pop it with your trait. His E is Lurking Arm. You channel a location, it will silence. You can keep that channel up forever, so you can use this for a zoning tool if you have to. It silences enemies in this, and it also damages them over time per second, and it deals less damage to non-heroes. It does not damage structures either. So a big ol' silence zoning area that potentially can never end is pretty good. His two ults, he has Falling Swipe, which is an 80-second cooldown. It swipes 3 times in front of you. You smack him real good. These 3 swipes are over 1.75 seconds. It deals barely any damage, but it knocks them away, so you can disrupt a big team fight. You can smack people away if you're trying to run away, stuff like that. So it's a pretty good ult. It's an 80-second cooldown though, comparative to his next ult, Massive Shove, which is a 20-second cooldown. His 20-second cooldown is a skill shot. So basically you shove someone massively. If it connects with someone, it will push them until they hit terrain. So that can be pretty good. For example, maybe you're getting engaged on, you push away the enemy tank, suddenly they don't have a tank, suddenly it's a 4v5, you can win. You push away the healer, suddenly they don't have a healer, you still have yourself, stuff like that. But you have to remember that it does collide with terrain. So if you're in a small chokehold fight, for example, maybe Cursed Hollow, when you're fighting over a tribute, there's a lot of walls around there, so your push might not be as good. I believe it also has a very short stun afterward. And while you're channeling this, so if you're shoving someone literally across the map, you'll have 50 armor while shoving them. And then his D is Bio Kill Switch. The cooldown is 16 seconds. This is probably one of the most important things to his kit. It's very, very strong. It does burst healing. So you detonate all his viruses. It includes healing pathogens on your allies, or weighted pustules on your enemies, or both. So if you have healing pathogens on your allies and weighted pustules on your enemy, it will pop both of everything. So it heals, it's a burst heal for 500 health. So for example, if you're trying to heal one dude and he's not super in danger of dying, you can get the 240 health and then pop it at the very end of it and then heal him for a burst of 500. So then he'll end up getting 700 health, and that's, you know, amazing. And that's at level 1. And if you pop weighted pustules, it will damage more and increase its slow to 70% for 2 seconds. So it's almost like a root. It's a very big slow. And you can cast it while you are silencing people as well. It's more like it's a 4v4. Well, technically, if you drop your healing pathogen first and then you shove someone away, while it is still technically a 4v4, right? You're still healing over time. So consider that you can heal first before you shove someone. And if you're healing, like, it'll still heal 240 over 4.5 seconds. And then you're pushing someone away. So it's a 4v4 with some healing from you at least, right? AoE Ancestral. Yeah, a lot of people consider Biokill Switch an AoE Ancestral. Right now, it's currently bugged again. It's healing 50% more than it's supposed to. So once the numbers are cut down, it will still be very strong, but not nearly as OP as it currently is. So let's look into his talents. His talents at level 1. Spine Launcher. Your basic attacks slow and they become ranged. They slow enemies 20% for 1 second and deals 50% less damage. This isn't terrible at all. His auto attacks currently are very, very strong, however. So, you know, you're literally smacking people for like 10,000 damage if you auto attack. His auto attack is very slow as well, so it's kind of like, imagine Leorc's swinging it around. It's really slow. So I personally don't think that Spine Launcher is the take, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with it either. Fetid Touch, I was trying that a couple games ago. So the quest is you hit people with you smack them with your W. If you hit 20 people, it reduces the cooldown by 2.5 seconds, so it'll be a 7.5 second. If you hit 40 people, it reduces the cooldown by another 2.5 seconds and removes its mana cost. So if you finish this quest by hitting 40 people, you'll end up having a 5-second cooldown on weighted pustules for 0 mana. So it seems pretty good, but the quest can take a while to do it. I did it last game. I think I got to level 16 when I finished it, but I was having some difficulties with it. Growing Infestation, it makes your lurking arm expand over 2.5 seconds, so you put your silence down, it'll grow 50%. I don't see if there's anything wrong with this. This is fine. It seems like it's a very good zoning tool as well, so this seems okay. Popping Pustules, you detonate 10 of your weighted pustules without dying, and the reward is that the weighted pustules will now apply its damage and slow in a small area around the target. So this talent, the main thing to know about it is that if you die, you lose the quest. So it's the same as like Master's Touch. You have to finish the talent to get the reward, and if you die, you lose your you lose everything going towards it. And other than that, you have to detonate weighted pustules. So that means you must hit your W on people, and then you hit your D to pop it. And you have to do 10 of those. And after you do that, it has a small AoE around the person, and it will apply its damage and slow in an area. So imagine if it's like chain bombs. Chain bombs blows up and it hits everyone else. So imagine like that, it deals its damage and slow. So that's what it is. The two that I liked so far are Fetid Touch and Poppin' Pustules. But I think that all the talents at level 1 are perfectly fine. Level 4, one good spread. If your healing pathogen infests 4 targets, I believe, including yourself. So if you're in like Brax's holdout, that's 4 people and 1 person top. I believe it includes yourself. So if it infests 4 targets, you restore 30 mana and you reduce the cooldown of healing pathogens by 2 seconds. So it will cost 0 mana and the cooldown will be 8 seconds. So I can definitely see this being very good on Braxis. It's like you're a Malfurion that can heal your entire team and not have any mana cost. So I can see one good spread being very good in that kind of situation. I can see that. Because again, this talent will make your Q cost 0 mana and have an 8-second cooldown. Top it off is another Q talent. Healing pathogens heal over time on its initial target is increased by 50% while they are above 60% health. So that only means that whoever you click your Q on. So even though your entire team will get this heal if you're holding hands, only the person that you click your heal on will have the heal over time increased by 50% if they're above 60% health. So this one honestly sounds not that great. I think it might be the weakest one on this talent tier, but it can possibly have its uses. I have not played it, so I can't say for sure, but I think this one sounds like the weakest on the talent tier. Biotic armor is healing pathogen grants 50 physical armor on its initial target while active on them. So again, for example, you can click your Q on your tank and he'll have an increased 50 physical armor, but again, it is only on your initial target. So this requires, like, these two require smart use of who your initial target is, basically. But 50 physical armor is probably better than 50% heal over time. I am a monster now, I know you. In almost every situation, because every hero can auto attack. So I would say biotic armor is probably better than top it off in almost every situation. The other talent is rigorous uptake. Vigorous reuptake, people have not really been taking this because it's currently bugged, again, to the point where the reward is baseline. I took it a couple games just to see how long it would take for me to complete this reward. And it's anywhere between level 13 to 16, I would say, depending on your lanes. So obviously, rigorous reuptake again is better on rotational maps where you are in the 4-man, or if you're in like a big group. Basically, if you're holding hands with your team, this is good. The first game that I took it in, I finished it in 13 minutes, and we had 3 people constantly in lane with me. But one downside to it is that because I finished it so early, it was also a matter of me constantly using Q and D, even if my allies didn't need the healing. So that is not really good situationally because it's a 16-second cooldown to use your D. So because I was like constantly using this off cooldown, I wasn't using it to heal my team. I was using it just to get my quest stacks up, and therefore, you know, maybe someone can get jumped on, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I don't have my D, and now they're dead, and it's all my fault, you know? So, I went ahead and I tried again in other games, and I think I completed around level 16 without constantly spamming D. But again, that was in like 4-man rotational maps. But this is still strong because this is literally why people are calling Stukov's QD and like AoE mini ancestral. So this is the talent that is bugged and makes his healing so much right now. So again, it's 50% more healing. At level 1, he heals for 500 health, so it'd be 750 instead of 500. That's a lot. So that's really good. So I think it's hard to say because I feel like the talents on this tier are really good on rotational maps. So maybe if you can't rotate, you know, take biotic armor, take top it off. Like for example, on... I'm like trying to think about the maps right now. Now I think about it, a lot of maps are like you want to stick with the 4-man. So I mean, I guess in Cursed Hollow, you know, when you split up, at most you usually have 3, but I still think that this talent is good and this talent is good. At level 7, the long pitch increases the range of your weighted pustule by 100%. It's pretty decent because the range on it baseline is not that great, and I see the long pitch being good if you're taking Fetid Touch. So I think that's as good. Lurking arm range 50%, not bad. I guess it's good too if you take Lurking Arm Expands. It's fine. very good situationally. It hungers. Hitting heroes reduces lurking arm cooldown. Each time a hero is hit by a lurking arm, it reduces its cooldown by 0.5 seconds and restores 5 mana. I haven't tried this one, but it didn't sound good, so that's why I didn't try it. I'm kind of discounting it, I guess, because I just feel like other things would be better. And targeted excision is if you detonate only one weighted pustule, it will reduce the cooldown of your bio kill switch. So bio kill switch is your D that pops the healing and the weighted pustule. So I can see this being good with maybe Feta Touch and maybe popping pustules. I've mostly only played it with popping pustules, and I think it's pretty good. It increases your healing significantly because it's putting your D on a 5-second cooldown instead of 16. So for example, in a team fight, you can Q your allies, hit W on one person, hit D, everyone gets super healed. You can do it again in 5 seconds. Or I guess you can do it again in 10 seconds, because that's cooldown too. But it's really strong. This gives you a lot of healing. So I think all these talents can be good, except maybe it hungers. I can see this being decent with Fetid Touch too, because that means that you can constantly use your W and your D back to back, because they will both be 5-second cooldowns with this being finished, of course. So my favorite one is Targeted Excision on this talent tier. At 10, Flailing Swipe and Massive Shove, they're both good. We talked about it earlier. Flailing Swipe, you know, smacks people around a bit, and Massive Shove shows people away, so they're both good. I think the main sticker about it is Massive Shove is on a 20-second cooldown, so even though it's a skill shot and you miss it, it'll be back up real fast, so this can be very good. I don't know what happened outside this. I don't know if someone's like practicing their opera singing or just screaming, but anyway, back to Stukov. Okay, so 13 reactive ballista spores. I haven't played it. It's also bugged right now. We're on the PTR, so there's a lot of bugs. So the bug with this right now is that it works until you die, then it no longer works. So that is not good. But the talent itself is when you take damage below 50% health, you instantly spread a weighted pustule to all nearby enemy heroes, and it resets the cooldown of your bio kill switch and has a 10-second cooldown. In theory, this sounds okay. Stukov is a melee hero, so maybe you might need it. Resetting the bio kill switch is pretty good. 10-second cooldown, pretty good. So all in all, I think this talent is fine if they fix the bug. Low blow. Lurking arm deals 150% more damage to enemy heroes below 25% health. Never touched it. I think it sounds terrible. Probably would never touch this, so I'm not going to do this one. Lingering spines. Lurking arm persists after canceling. It persists for 1.5 seconds. This sounds pretty good on paper as well. So sometimes you might have to drop your silence and then cancel it immediately, and if people are still in it, then it'll persist for 1.5 seconds more. It's pretty good. Virulent reaction is if you detonate a weighted pustule, the keyword again, detonate. If you detonate it on an enemy who is inside a lurking arm, it roots them for 2 seconds. So for you to use this talent, virulent reaction, while it sounds really good, you have to hit your W, proceed to hit your E on them, and then hit them with your big ol' D, and then that will root them for 2 seconds. So it sounds good, but you're also committing a ton of cooldowns to use this talent. So I'm not sure how viable it is. I have been trying it. It seems okay, but I feel like I'm committing a lot of cooldowns for this route. And also because you're using your detonation, you might have to, you know, just eat the loss of your 16-second cooldown. You don't know if you need it to heal your teammates, because remember, you're also the healer. So I'm not sure how good this is. Mutant Bakery has Zul and Stukov and could instant kill anyone because of low blow. Yeah, I can see it if you have insane CC, I guess. If you have a lot of CC, again, his lurking arm can follow up to a lot of things. But I probably personally would not take low blow. It's difficult to say though because I haven't played it, so I don't want to like completely discount anything, but at the same time I'm kind of doing it anyway because I'm a jerk. I'm sorry, low blow. I gave it a low blow, haha. Anyway, level 16. Super Strain. Healing Pathogen heals when stunned. Whenever an ally with Healing Pathogen is stunned, they are instantly healed for 250 health. I assume this scales up over the time, whatever, so this sounds good. Or it sounds okay, because he has no cleanse. Universal Carrier, Healing Pathogen can continuously spread through Stukov, but its healing is reduced by 60%. So this significantly lowers his heal over time. The one really good use that I saw for Universal Carrier when I played it was that you can drop it on you can drop your Q on someone, you all mount up and you rotate together and it'll constantly spread around you, so I guess it'll help in like rotational situations where you're all low but you see that the enemy, or you're all like 50% health but the enemy might be committing to boss and you think you can fight them but you're across the map, so you like rotate all around together and then you come back and you're all healthy, so maybe that's good. The other thing that you can do with this is that there is an animation when the Q spreads. So mid-spread, like you can see it flying towards someone, mid-spread you can pop your D, and while that theoretically should drop Q off everyone, because the Q was on mid-spread, it'll still go on them and then continue on, so you don't have to use your Q cooldown. So that's one other thing that I saw with Universal Carrier that could be like a neat trick. This one, I can't pronounce this word, so I was calling it the PP. But for the PP, Biokill Switch no longer removes Healing Pathogen and instead refreshes duration. So if you're a literal computer and you refresh its duration right at the end, you can potentially get up to 9 seconds of heal over time on one dude, while also, you know, popping the heal for a burst. So that potentially can be good. Obviously, you're probably not a computer, so you won't be able to do that, but you can increase the duration on everybody, so that's good too. Eye Infection is it increases the weighted pustule damage and the detonation now blinds. I don't see anything wrong with that at all, but I personally probably would not take Eye Infection because you're more likely than not going to be the solo healer, so you might just want to go Healing Talents. Populi? Populi? Is that how you pronounce it? I was just calling it PP because I can't pronounce anything in my life. So, I think on paper all these talents sound fine, but I would probably take the PPs. The blind is insane. Well, the thing about the blind that's insane is that it's only on the target that you hit. So when you think about blinds, you're thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna smack Illidan in the face with it. It might not be easy to smack Illidan in the face with your slow moving W. So that's like something else that you have to consider, is that you have to hit your W. I don't believe, because it says it will blind the target, I don't believe that the AoE with popping pustules will work. If that did work, then that would be pretty insane synergy, but I think that because the tooltip reads blinds the target, it should not be the little AoE thing, right? That would be busted though. I think that would be extremely busted. Then at level 20, Controlled Chaos. Flying Swipe only hits once, gains multiple charges, it hits once at max range. I didn't like this. I took it once. I didn't like it. I think the cooldown between using the charges is a little bit too long, maybe. So that's why I didn't like it. I only took it once though, so it's hard to say. Push comes to shove. A massive shove travels 25% faster. If it shoves a person for more than 1.5 seconds, its cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds. So it would instead be a 5-second cooldown on massive shove. Now, I haven't taken this. Well, I took it last game, but I didn't really get to shove people. So, I don't currently have an opinion on this. So I don't know if it's that good. One thing that I saw that could have been good, I think Horse Pants, he was streaming on my computer yesterday, and for a core defense, he took push comes to shove, and he was gonna try to like shove someone away, have it on 5-second cooldown, shove someone else away, and save his core, and be like the savior of everyone. But then he got CC'd by, I think Marsh was on the enemy team, and he flailing swiped him, so his plan was ruined. But I guess that's one situation you could work out in. Other than that, I don't know if it's really good. I haven't tried it myself. And then Biokill Switch is Bile Explosion Switch makes Biokill Switch now detonate Lurking Arm and applies weighted push shields to enemies inside and silences them for 2 seconds. So I guess that's fine. If you hit someone with your silencing arm, you can pop your D, and then they will get, I believe, would it be a baseline weighted push shield? And they would also be silenced for 2 more seconds. So if it's a baseline weighted push shield, I mean, I guess that's okay too. It decreases, it deals a little bit of damage, and you slow them as well. So maybe this is decent. Honestly, his level 20 talents sound like they all suck. They all sound not so great. But I think the rest of his talents sound really good. So with builds, again, I think whoever made his talents, whoever put this man together, I think they did a really good job, because I think Stukov is the character that I have spent the most time in PTR with. And even though I've spent the most time with him in PTR, I have no clue how to build him. No problem. Some of the builds that I've tried this one, so pop-in pustules with whatever at 4, whatever you feel like, situational, they're all good. With targeted excision, with whichever at 10, because they're both good. At 13, I took lingering spines. At 16, I took whatever, because they're all good. Oh my god, why are these? Oh, this is so hard. Why? Oh my god, I'm just saying whatever. Yeah, whatever. It's all good at the end. All you just need is popping pustules and target decision in this build, and then pick whatever the heck else you want, because it's all good. Oh my god, I just realized that all these talents are just so good. How do I even, right? Like, just pick whatever. They're all good. Just roll a dice, 1 through 4, just go, right? But for this build, the main thing was pop-in pustules with target decision, and then at 13 is probably lingering spines. Another talent build that I had been playing recently was Fetid Touch with the long pitch, with massive shove, but I guess whatever is fine too. Oh my god. And with a virulent reaction. That is one of the other builds that I've tried. And then with this build, I think Eye Infection can be also pretty good. But again, you know, whatever. Because all of these talents are just so dang good, Blizzard. How could you do this to me? This is what I mean by I've put in the most time with Stukov in PTR, and I can't, for the life of myself, figure out what is the best talent build, because all his talents can be really good, and it's so difficult. So good job, Blizzard. Thanks for stumping me. Thanks for stumping everyone, basically, because I don't know, chat, do you guys in chat know a really good talent build for Stukov that you think is the go-to? Like, do any of you guys have any idea of what the go-to is, or are you guys all going insane because you're stumped just like me?
Suffering begets more suffering, and more.
I think that this man is insane. I think that his heal over time is insane. He just blew Malfurion out of the water. I think that rigorous reuptake will still be really good once they fix the bug, because that's literally the mini ancestral. You like all E? You guys like the all silence? I think it's okay, but the problem with all E is that you're also not healing, and I feel like if you're playing Stukov, you're probably gonna be the solo healer on your team. So potentially, oops, sorry, I made him dizzy. Potentially it could be dangerous, but I guess as long as you remember to drop your key first, it would be good. But I've tried this build as well, and it felt okay. The other thing about it was is an 8-second cooldown, so it's just like not all the time will people keep standing in it as well. But I can see all E being very good into a chain CC comp. Are you waiting for it to go live? You think that if you can change your plan depending on map and team comps, that's great? Yeah, that's what I think. I feel like all his talents are just so good situationally that it's hard to say what is the go-to talent. Going full trait build, all talents are reduced to D cooldown. Yeah, you like to hit people with that D. Yeah, that's why I really like targeted excision, because it makes your D cooldown at 5 seconds if you do it properly, which is absolutely incredible. I don't know, this man is just so good. I can't wait for him to go on live with hopefully all his bugs fixed so you can like really play him to his real potential, because I feel like another reason why some people may feel like the all E is really good is that his Q is bugged. So you might not feel like you're lacking in healing because he has, I mean, not his Q is bugged, but his D is bugged. Like, you might not feel like you're lacking in healing because you have extra healing due to things that are not supposed to be like. So that's one other thing. That's why I don't want to go too all into like all W or all E, because it's like, what if his healing is, well, it's going to be significantly weaker, but how bad would that feel in game, you know? Lurking arm build with Entomb, dude, I really like that. I think I did that one game. I've played this man a lot, and I'm stumped. But yeah, thank you guys for, oh my god, how long did I just talk about this guy? Did I just talk about him for like 20 years? I need to drink water, stay hydrated, hydration. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I don't know if I'll have the answers to it because I'm lost, man. But I'm glad that he's a support. He's a really good support. Is he gonna be first pick, first ban? Probably. He seems really good. 20 years has passed, but I did not age. Same. I'm still 12 years old. But yeah, I like, again, I have nothing but compliments for whoever did his talents. They're all amazing. There are some things that I want to test out, such as, hold on. Such as things like, you know, like how the PP doesn't remove your healing pathogen. Does that also mean that the duration of this stuff is longer as well? Ray, thank you so much for the sub. So much love. Thank you. Also, it was so much fun playing Pool Party for you. Thank you so much for the sub. I'm glad you liked the stream. It makes me happy. I gotta tell DJ. Gotta be like, yo DJ, ya girl Ray. So nice. What heroes have countered Stukov the most so far?
I am a monster now, I know this.
I would say he has a lack of cleanse, so a lot of CC obviously would ruin him. Burst, yes, I think Chromie is very good against him. Not only is Chromie good against him because of his healing, but also because if you're, for example, some of you like the E build, right? And I'm sure you guys are good players that you wouldn't pick E build in every single situation. But for example, if you're using E into Chromie, she can just combo you and she could be like, see a nerd, you know, stuff like that. You have no way to get away from people like Genji. Like, he'll just chase you down and destroy you unless you're like a god and you hit him with the insane massive shove. There's no way to get away from him. So I guess high mobility can ruin him too. Yeah, just thinking about it, like, you can't get away from Genji. Dragon Blade will probably ruin your day. You can't really get away from Illidan. Maybe you can hit him with your blind if you're lucky at level, if you take the level 16 talent, maybe you'll hit him if you're lucky. Karen thinks I'm a good player. I hope you're all good players. I believe in all of you. The sub was long overdue. Thanks so much for the fun Tuesday night. Thanks for carrying me in a pool party. That was so fun. But yeah, so burst and mobility maybe. So maybe Tracer would be pretty good. Cause it's like, but then that's talking about counters directly into Stukov. That's not talking about his teammates helping him, and that's not talking about the enemy teammates helping whoever you're fighting against. But I would say if you love playing the counter to the new hero in quick match on release week, play some Chromie. You might want to play Chromie. Who else would be good against him? That's a good question. Yeah, I would just say burst damage would be good. High mobility could be good. I mean, a Nubrak would ruin him. You know, it's just like, you know, like how in Nubrak, you pick a Nubrak into Soul Ariel, and if your teammates suck, they won't bust her out of jail, and then they all die. You can probably do the same concept with Stukov, same concept with Uther. People like that who are really strong at their healing thing, but people can ruin their days if your teammates don't bust you out of jail and stuff like that. He has trouble. I mean, he'd have trouble against Barrel because he doesn't have cleanse, so he can't save his teammate, he can't save himself, stuff like that. What else would be really good? Lunara would be like the... Actually, never mind about Tracer. I feel like I played against a Tracer before, and her auto attacks barely dealt more damage than my healing over time. So Lunara would probably be terrible against him. So damage over time might not be that great if it's not high enough. Malthael, I think, would have trouble too, so, you know, just thinking about that kind of stuff. Interesting. And obviously good combos with him. I think Zul combos with him amazingly well. Check out Zul as well. Zul has a rework that was done. The reason why Zul is really good is that, like, you can literally, you know, it's like if you're playing Chromie with Zul, you can basically generally tell where they're gonna get rooted, and you just bloop on them. Stukov can do the same thing. He's good with chain CC. Yeah, he seems like he'd be a pretty decent dude. Lost Vikings are free right now? Are they? I don't know. Do I have lot? Yeah, I guess they're in rotation right now. Well, this is PTR. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so I just feel like he's so strong that Chromie is single-handedly probably the best against him. Chromie, he can't do anything against Temporal Loop, and Slowing Sands would probably ruin his day too, ruin most people's days. And if he uses his E anywhere near Chromie, she could just be like, oh, it's time to combo you, see you later, nerd, stuff like that. So I think Chromie would be really good against him. And mobility, high mobility is probably good. I'm gonna say he's currently on the scale, on like the school scale, I'd rate him B for busted, which means he's actually really strong, and he's busted in two senses of the word. He's busted in the fact that, one, he's really freaking goddamn good, and he's busted in the fact that he's very bugged. So B plus. By B plus I mean just like top tier OP first band first pick. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said B. Now the Asians are gonna get mad because no one can get a B if you're Asian, right? New broken hero is broken. Good job, Blizzard. He's very bugged right now, so we'll have to see when his bugs are fixed of how strong he is. But I firmly believe that even without these buggeroos, he'll still be very strong. So he's just a big old strong man. So throw your money at him. He's good. He's really good. He's really good. Just think about if Malfurion and Rhaegar had a child. Okay, they had a child, and this is their child. This is their child. What is his bug? There's two that I know. So the really big one The really big bug that he has is that rigorous reuptake. The reward is baseline at level 1. That is a bug. So it increases his D healing by 50%. So that's busted. It's busted, it's broken, it's bugged, it's amazing. The other bug that I know of is reactive ballista spores. It works until you die. So once you are a feeder, Blizzard says, you suck and you don't get this level 13 talent anymore. So it no longer works after you die once. So if you take this talent, I hope to God you're not a feeder, or else you don't have a 13 talent. So that's it. Was their child fertilized by Zagara? Okay, I'm sorry. So it's Malfurion and Rhaegar had a baby, and Zagara was like, what do they call? What do you call it? Zagara is like the lady who came in and like helped with the birthing process. Midwife. Zagara was the midwife. There we go. So she helped with the birthing process. But yeah, so the man's good. Okay, let's stop talking about this. Anyway, he's good. The end. Get him. He's really strong. Hopefully they fix his bugs real fast. I'm being way too hopeful in the way that I wish that Blizzard would be able to fix these bugs before PTR ends, but that's probably not gonna happen. So until then, we're only playing with his extremely busted, amazing living lifestyle of OPness. I still firmly believe that once they fix the talents, particularly this talent, once they fix this, I still think that he will be busted, so do not worry. Still busted. And even if they fix this talent, which they absolutely will, sorry, even when they fix this talent, and then you decide to take this talent, I did take it a couple times while knowing that it was broken. I took this because I wanted to see how long it took to finish this quest. You can finish it between level 13 to 16 depending on how try hard you are with it. So I finished it at 13 by being super try hard, but my allies kind of died for it. Whoops. But anyway, it's not too bad to finish it. Level 13 to 16, it's really strong, so the reward is super definitely worth it. I'm gonna end up saying that this is probably going to be the go-to talent, because it's real good old strongo, good old pickets, 110%, real good, so strong.